Bill, you have been a strong advocate for businesses, going so far as to bring back sandwich board signs and playing peacemaker between a bar owner and neighbors after a stabbing. And your support for Cumberland businesses has been a featured part of all your ads and your mailings. I'm actually starting to think you're running for president of the Chamber of Commerce. What exactly do you think you can accomplish for business? Do you want to rezone more land for commercial use? And where would that be? Are there rules and policies that you want to ease up on to make business development easier? And do you have a concern that that emphasis on business could diminish the town's country character and impact neighborhoods that are frequently impacted, including last night's planning board? There was a new business approved, and there was a whole neighborhood very upset about it.
Well, which one?
The one on High Street, it's Steve Carr. Steve Carr's business. He's completely legal. Absolutely no issue there, except it's impacting a neighborhood, and they don't think that having a parking lot with 12 cars in the front is really goes well with the rest of the residential neighborhood. And I see this all over the place. Zoning board, planning board, town council meetings of business expanding, impacting local neighborhoods. And I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about business growth that you're so in favor of, and its relationship to the citizens of the town.
That's a good question, and I believe it really it's a simple answer, is that I've said right along that I support the local small business. I don't see any big business coming into the town. First of all, we don't have a lot of room or any room to do it. So my whole emphasis is to support the small business. You'll see an ad going out next week, which I believe we've already sent, about the people, the small business owners who are supporting me big time, because they know that I will be a voice to help them. So we have to help for the benefit of the town and the residents. We have to have strong business in the town because it's only going to help the tax base. By doing that, I have already put in and had a PR release that I have met with a couple of banks, along with the planning director, to work on a workshop. And even if I'm not mayor, I'm going to do it. And this workshop will be to educate the local business people, to help them with their business, how to improve. The second part of that would be any regulation that I could, or any ordinance that I could see, I will definitely work on to streamline. I think that's important, so these businesses have an easier time dealing with the town. There was just something that came out yesterday, I believe on television, about the fact that it's very difficult, both statewide and local, to do business. And we can't have that. As far as the business all over the place, I don't agree with that. I agree that we have to be careful where the businesses, if there are new businesses, and where they go, and that would be my emphasis. So definitely, I support the small business and will continue to be a voice for them.
Dan?
I would like to state that we just recently celebrated a small business in town, which is the Colonial Bakery, and you had a beautiful article on, for 100 years of existence. The family has been there about 40 years, and they've worked very hard. And I say the family, the husband, the wife, even the children help out there, and one of the relatives also is one of the main cooks. We congratulated them through your article and through some other documents that we made a presentation to them on. But we want to make sure that the businesses that are in existence now know that they have a friend at the town hall. Should you need some kind of assistance, should you need some kind of a question answered, should you need some kind of direction as to whether you can or cannot expand your business, what kind of organizations are out there as far as obtaining small business loans, we want to make sure that they know that they have a friend there. The other thing is that we want to welcome new businesses. There's a lot of storefronts throughout Valley Falls, Ashton, Berkeley, and even some other parts of Cumberland Hill that have storefronts and small plazas that are a lot of the buildings have not complete fulfillment. There's some empty spaces there. We want to be able to entice the small business people to come in. First of all, they're going to have jobs and available. They're going to be paying their taxes, and we can tax their tangibles. And it'll be good for the neighborhoods. It'll be good for the neighborhoods. There'll be a lot of convenience for the neighborhoods. And as far as going down to having a taxpayer who is paying taxes on his home, which is his residence, his peace of mind, that's his family entitlement, and to have a business come and approach them, I think we have to take a second hard look at that. We don't want them to feel that they're not getting what they're supposed to be paying for.
Marsha, thank you very much for your question, and it's a great question. We need to have a natural balance between our business needs in town, but the preservation of our open spaces, parks, recreation areas, including the monastery. I am pro-business, of course, and I will do everything I can as a mayor to provide an environment to nourish the present ones and attract even more business for our town. As I said, that will be the basis of our taxes, tax money to help move Cumberland forward in other areas as education. We have industrial parks, industrial areas that some of them, like Ashton, is slightly utilized or could be improved. I've visited and toured Swiss Line, a great small local business success story. And I believe that we can attract new business, but not at the expense or the cost of our open spaces and parks and recreation areas.
May I follow?
Sure.
I'm just going to follow up quickly on one business, because you talk about streamlining, making it easier for businesses. Yet the town has one business, Hope Global, that is huge and employs hundreds of people and is a key. And years ago, with the second round of flooding, they asked Mayor McKee and state officials, it's complicated, of course, but they're asking for federal officials, yeah, for work on the berm or whatever, because they'd like to stay. Everybody in the world is asking them to move there. They want to stay in Cumberland. Their workforce is here. They're trained. Cheryl Merchant's doing a great job. So as you have your 1 minute rebuttal, please maybe bring Hope Global into it just for a few seconds to talk about a big business that we want to keep here. That begins with Bill, and then Dan.
Okay.
And then
That's a great question, Tom, because Home Global is a very important factor to the town. I put out in front that I worked, as I said before, for a $100 million corporation. I know how to talk the language. I met with these people at Hope Global through the Chamber of Commerce and had some nice discussions. I think they want to know, are we going to support them? And I can guarantee you that Bill Murray will support them as the mayor of Cumberland. The other issue of the flooding is a very serious one, and it's something that has to be dealt with continually. It's not the fault of any of the administration here. It's just that the federal government is very slow to move, and they have to be pushed a little bit, because we definitely don't want to lose Hope Global.
thank you.
I feel that Hope Global is one of the mainstays of the town of Cumberland, and we need to keep them here. We need to have them have this as their home. We have to communicate with our federal agencies, with the Army Corps of Engineers, to come in and keep that whole area under a new recycled situation so that we cannot lose Hope Global and anybody else that's interested. Getting back to our businesses is that in our industry is that we have 3 industrial parks. And sad to say that the one which is Ashton Parkway needs to be addressed. We need to be able to entice people to want to come in and say, look, here's our inventory. We have Ashton Parkway, we have at the end of Cumberland, we have the one at 295, close to all of the interstates. But we have to inventory them, dress them up, and then propose them out there so that we can entice people to come in.
Tom, great question, and thank you very much for addressing the Hope Global situation. I remember during the flood of 2009-2010, they suffered dearly. And plans were drawn to address that problem for the future, and yet I don't see any developments or any progress on that area. So it takes real leadership to accomplish this. And as mayor, I will be there advocating 100% in favor of our business that keep our town moving, and I will be very vocal and present working with the Army Corps of Engineers to assure that these projects that are so needed, we have no idea when the next flood is coming, are not only concluded, but provide an environment that our business can flourish. Another business that I would like to bring up to attention is Okanite, which is a success story for our town. They're growing, they're developing, and that in turn will help our taxpayers.